How's it going, guys? So in today's video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I do in times of really high market volatility where I don't see any sort of big macro trends that worry me. This is going to be a very active type of trading strategy that I do every single day. So if you're more of a passive trader, this video is not for you. But if you are an active trader and you do want to kind of ride these waves during these times of market volatility where you don't think that there's a big kind of macro trend for why you actually might want to kind of completely get out of the market, here's some tips for how to do that. All right, so I'm going to pull up my phone here and show you guys a few tips. So first tip is use the candlestick charts. You can find this on Yahoo Charts online, or if you have Robinhood, you can actually click this little button down here and switch to candlestick charts. And what you can see here is last month, and every single little candlestick, what they call here, is a different day. So you can see in the reds, these are the down days, and then the greens are the up days. And so what I'll do is, for example, if I on February 18th see a 2% decline Boeing, and I don't think there's any macro trends, this is just market volatility, I'll go ahead and dump a bunch of capital into this asset. Let's say I buy, 10 shares of this at the low of 208. Then I'll basically look back and say, okay, well, what price do I think this should get back until I want to sell it? And let's say it's 212. I'll basically go here, I'll click sell, shares, limit order, and I'll just set it to 212. So after I buy, I set it to 212, I set it, I forget it, and then in the background, without me doing anything, whenever the stock gets back to that top price, I've made the difference between 208 and 212 for those shares. So let's say I bought 20 shares, that's $4 times 20, so 80 bucks, right? That I just made like that, super easy. And of course you can swing it with bigger swings if you'd like, and only sell it when it gets up to a bigger price. But typically what I recommend doing is, if you are on this chart, I look at the historical of where Boeing's been, and I try to say, okay, well, it's been fluctuating by about this much every day, so I want 2%, 5%, whatever kind of delta there's been since the past volatility. So if it's a stock that's really volatile and it's actually changing by like 8% sometimes back and forth, then I'll actually, when I buy it at that low price, I'll set my stop limit for when I want to sell it at a high point to be, let's say, 7%, so that it really triggers and catches. And that's really a way you can ride these waves and make some cash every single day. All right, so let's go through a specific example here of when I did this past week, actually. So today's March 6th, so it's a Saturday, 2021. But here's an example from this past week where it was super volatile, right? And we're seeing a ton of different peaks and lows. And one of the stocks that I'm a big fan of is Twitter, because a lot of things they're doing, they have a great team. So if we look at Twitter, for example, here on my phone, you'll see, there's quite a bit of greens, reds, volatility. I mean, here it drops by 4%. Here it gained by 7% almost. Then 3, 8. It dropped by a bit here, by a bunch here. So if we look at, for example, a move that I made, you'll notice, for example, on March 5th, I bought it at $63 a share, and then I set a stop limit when it gets back to, let's pull up my history here, when it got to $67 a share, right? So quick, and this is 100 shares that I did. This actually all happened within one day, that I basically bought and then got those gains and got that cash back. And if you look at the delta here, we're looking at 6,700 to 6,340, right? So that's a quick couple $100 that I made in one day just by doing this kind of strategy on March 5th. So if we look at kind of the chart here, this was on Friday, and you can see basically I was buying it when it was super low, and then it swung big, and that's when I kind of tried to myself. So I hope this is helpful. I think there's going to be many more opportunities like this that will come with kind of market volatility type days, and it's a great way to kind of really just ride these waves and buy these dips, sell them back when they get to a certain price, and just kind of pump and dump cash through these plays. So I hope this video was helpful. Please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, drop in a comment if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer, and I'll see you in the next one.